Oh, sir.
Take two. All right, here we go. We're gonna start over. We're just gonna start over. Day 9. We're gonna start over again. If I hadn't said take 2, I'd have to say take 3. All right, let's just start over. We're gonna do it again. Here we go. Ready? This is day 9. I want my change. Misunderstood. 2. Take 2. Here we go. All right, phone, do not disturb. You cannot disturb me. Fly. We have a fly with us on set today. Thank you very much for joining us, Fly. Let's come up with a name for the fly. I have my bug zapper underneath. I tried to kill it before and I didn't. So it's just gonna live. And we've got a special guest today. Although it will not be gracing the microphone. Welcome, Fly. Welcome, listeners. Hello, good morning. This is the second take because I just didn't like how the first one began. I got about 8 minutes in and the camera was being weird. The Fly was being disruptive. I felt rambly. I also jumped right in and I don't really, just the flow, just the whole flow just felt a bit off and weird and I didn't love it. So we're gonna run it back. Take 2, that's what the board's for. That's what the eraser's for. That's what the marker's for. Take 2, here we go. And nobody knows, well, you know, but nobody will ever have to see what just happened. Isn't that the beauty of content? If it's trash or you don't like it or it's not necessary or maybe you shouldn't do it, you just don't put it out. You just press delete. You just don't press send. That text you shouldn't send at that hour, you shouldn't send it. Just don't send it. That 8 minutes that I just did, it just wasn't good. So just don't put it out. Do it again. And do it till it makes sense. That's cool. I really have never felt that sentiment before. Just scrap it. So one, I'm glad to realize that in that moment, this ain't it. And also to just keep it rolling, keep it moving, keep going. Off we go. Here we are. Hi, welcome back. Welcome. Hi, camera 4. Do me some love today, would you? I appreciate you. Hello, everybody who's listening. Hello, everybody who's watching. What a beautiful day. I'm here. It's day 9. There's the fly. There it is. Come on now. Just you can hang. Just don't buzz around the mic, please. I know you aren't listening and don't care, but that would be ideal. I am here this morning. I feel good. I feel great. I am. I haven't edited the last 2 episodes. Monday and Tuesday. I just didn't do them. I didn't. So I'm just going by how I feel. Maybe that's a bit interesting too, actually. I haven't done any of the feedback and in the edit, so I didn't necessarily have something to bounce off of that I saw from yesterday that I can look to improve on. Oh yeah, I don't like that actually. Yeah, now that that's piecing itself together, I don't like that. I got to get back to doing the episodes same day, or maybe that was actually one of the activities I wanted to try. Shoot this episode today, edit it tomorrow morning, and then after the edit, record the next day. Just to see how that process of feedback and really instantaneous, I just edited that 30 minutes ago. And now I can talk about what I just did 30 minutes ago instead of thinking about what I did, 18, 20 hours ago. So as a practice, as an exercise, I'm going to add that to the sheet of things to do. Just see how that unfolds and how I feel about that as an end result. So yeah. That's just my thoughts for the day. Those are just my random mental configurations for the morning. And I do have a plan. It's right here on the I Want My Change listener and viewer. I was going to call it a show, but now I'm calling it other words. And I'm just going to tell you what we're going to talk about because that's what you're here for. Anyway, housekeeping for today. One item, the bell is here. It's upstairs. It's about 36 feet away. It's in a package that needs to be opened. My small human is upstairs, probably playing with Legos right now. And when he wakes up, he will, and comes downstairs, he will want to open that package. It was here last night, and I was not asking a 4-year-old to open a bell 10 minutes before bedtime. Ever. So it's there, and he'll come down maybe while we're recording, and you will unofficially not meet my child. So that's here. It's there, and we will have it for tomorrow's episode. Yay to housekeeping. On to my topics for today, because I only have 2, and I'm going to keep it short in my topics, but might give you a little bit of length in the discussion today and see how that goes. 2 things: my social media login sheet and children and parenting, which we could probably talk for ages about. Come on, bro. You dropping the ball right now, doggy. Dropping the ball right now, bro. So many things happening in this room. So pardon, we got our light back, above light, and camera 4 is going to give me some focus love. So I'm happy about both of those things. My social media login sheet, I'll give you that. Quick, fun. That's why my computer's here. I told you about getting all of the social and online stuff set up on all the platforms, Instagram, get my LinkedIn set up, YouTube, Gmail, Linktree, all of the website and www, everything has to all be in some cleanly, organizedly configured form. That is a Google Sheet, which it's here. And I will actually take a screenshot and show it to you, the parts you are allowed to see. And what's not redacted, you will be able to learn from. And basically, I have an organizational format of how to keep track of all this stuff. One, because there's so many emails, personally and professionally, talks too much. I want my change. There's just too many moving parts. And there has to be some sort of organization in this for me. But 2, this is a plan that has to be used for other people, like the need for organization. And say I want somebody else to run this shit. Here, boom, here's everything. Done. That's work that needs to be done. And whether I do that now, it's a practice that needs to be built fundamentally, foundationally into the work that is being put out. And so, I always say like, oh, nope, I didn't get him. You got to finish the job. Just like with the Outkast vinyl, like there's one spot for a record. You about to just leave the one spot? Like, nah, bro, finish the job. It's not enough to just have all this in my phone. Organize it, this is all when I go to university and you're like, I did all this stuff and I don't know what I use it for in real life. Like this is, information systems 101. I always refer back to that. Like I love Excel sheets because I remember being properly introduced to them when I was 18 in information systems. Like this is the part of the work that makes the work much easier. And this is just simple Google Forms. Like that's why I love the Google workspace, because I mean, it's genius that they've just incorporated everything, but it's there. Your YouTube is there, your email is there, your calendar, like what your dot, like whatever your note, like whatever it is, it's all there. And so Google has a really great way of organizing all of the different types of things you might need. And then within that, actually using those different elements to organize the other things that you need and the best ways to deliver on those, to keep track of them, to be efficient. And this is the like nerdy stuff that I'd be like getting real like excited about. I was gonna say horny, but like not quite there, but like say 2/4, but like 2/5 chub. Cool with that. Like this is dope. Like just to have all my information here ready and accessible. And this is what I was saying, like the job takes so many tasks. Like, all right, so for instance, I go through, I have platform, input all the info, got the usernames, yada, yada. As you can see, I'm trying to get I Want My Change on YouTube. There's a person who has I Want My Change as their YouTube handle, which also I didn't know that it was to find someone. It's youtube.com/@ and then the name. Feel like the @ is extra, but it's needed. And so just as a random note, that's how YouTube writes it out. I learned that yesterday, and I Want My Change is taken. It's taken by someone who the last video they posted on YouTube was 12 years ago. They have only one video, that video, and one subscriber, which I'm not hating on the numbers, aside from the fact that probably gonna need to hand that over, dog. Because what you doing with that is not, no. And so I don't know how this is going to go about. I emailed YouTube to be like, hey, there's a account that's not being used. Can I get the username? Can I get the @ handle? I don't know how that will go. I will keep you posted, because what I would do, I don't want extra words. I don't want to, as I'm like going through the name, like, welcome to I Want My Change. It's like, I Want My Change show. Like, nah, I Want My Change. I don't want it to have no dots, no underscores, no nothing extras. I've been lucky enough that Talks Too Much was available everywhere. Even my name wasn't available everywhere. Like, so, and I Want My Change has been available everywhere else. So I've gotten pretty lucky in finding names, and then obviously got to register them, at the very least federally incorporate them, and go from there. But in terms of the online, like, and I guess I'm saying that to be clear, like there's an official version of getting your name, and then there's the internet version of getting your name, and just it's important to have both. I've done, in some instances, I did all the internet stuff before I did all the official stuff. And in this instance, with Talks Too Much, I did the other way around. I got all the federal incorporated paperwork and all that in line, and then started to build all of the online versions of everything. It's actually the first time I've done it that way. Usually I just make all the stuff, and then I'm like, all right, so what are we doing with this? So actually feels really good to flip flop it and do it the right way. Like I said, like it's hilarious when you realize the actual formula and that there is a formula. Like, especially as creative people, we're like, oh yeah, I could do it this way. I could try to come up with my own way to do it. And it's like, bruh, that's cool. But most of this shit is based on like a very similar foundation. Jesse Ingalls, man, make it your 3% your own version. Whatever it is, what is your 3% that makes it yours? That's really all we get to do. That's really all we need to focus on is our 3%. And we just think we could dismantle the system and change. It's like, bruh, no. And maybe, but is that what you want to dedicate your life to doing? It's cool to say. And I love black people and I'm as pro-black as it, but like, I'm not about to really dedicate my life at the forefront to saving black communities and saving black people. It's like, bruh, I have enough great people in this room to see like, that ain't a fight that going about it that way is about to get done. Malcolm X is holding the rifle in his hand, peeking out the window. So it ain't that way. But for me to figure out my own situation, do things my own way, figure out my own 3%, create my own success, set up my own self, set up my own family, document that and share it. And then other people get to like, oh, that's the, I don't even want to call it indirect, but it's like, that's the path. Maybe that's going to get it done in this day and age, in this time, on how it needs to be done versus how it was done previously. Like, I don't know, we be like so community first that we don't really take care of ourselves. And we try to like think that without taking care of ourselves, we're about to just like change the whole fucking world. Like, nah, that shit ain't true. And we need to care about us a little bit more, which is caring about our 3% and doing what we need to do within this massively abstract concept called life. And it feels really good to be doing that and to like have settled like way, way, way into that. I feel like so much more at peace just doing the thing and not trying to like feel like I'm bigger or more important or, yeah, I mean, that's ego too. That's our creative mind thinking that, but and to a certain extent, we got to kind of keep that. It's our superpower as creative people, but we also have to be realistic and realistic with ourselves and care for ourselves. I think the realism is care. Realistic expectations are care for self. Less pressure, less unnecessary pressure to be this grandiose thing. It's like, nah. That like in all of what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, this is not like, this is just spreadsheets. Business is not this like, it's like, nah, it's a system. It's like baking a cake. More difficult, more personal, more challenges, but in it's like, yo, follow this plan and do this thing and it'll turn out like that. Not every time, sure, but it's been done enough times. So just do that. Your own little spin, rant over. I love my login sheets. I'm glad to be doing this work. I'm glad to be getting organized. Yeah, Squarespace, YouTube, Gmail, Linktree, Instagram, Patreon. Personal, old Instagrams. I have my personal Instagram. I got the old podcast, CTM podcast Instagram. Because I got to go back on there and send everybody who ever listened, hey, here's what's going on and moving forward. So to be able to access that listenership and those people, yeah, that's, yeah. It's good. I'm excited. I'm happy. That's my social media login sheet. Now my children, my baby boy. Oh man. Where do I even start the story? Okay, so I guess I guess I'll start somewhere in. Well, how did I even like? How did this even become a topic? I guess that's probably a good starting place. Um, I think it's weird people who put their kids on the internet. I think it's fucking strange. Most people don't ask consent of their child. Most people's children don't know what the word consent means, and those who do don't really understand it as children. Most adults don't understand consent. So, and I don't mean to laugh about consent, but the idea that adults are putting their kids' faces, actions, lives, addresses on the internet just for strange fucking people with access to Wi-Fi, just to be able to see, I think it's fucking weird. And we have forgotten that there's fucking weird, strange, creepy ass people that exist on Earth. And now they don't have to go outside to be as creepy. They can just sit behind a screen and be super fucking creep monsters. So and I don't need attention because my kid is fucking cute. I think that shit is weird. So I don't, I think just like, unless just for like personal sake, I think it's weird to just have your kid just searchable. There's obviously ways to do it where you can be a bit more discreet, but it's still the internet. So it doesn't matter. And I don't want my fucking kid all over the internet. I think it's weird. I have a picture of the two of us. I have two pictures on my personal Instagram, one of me, and then I have a second post with two pictures of the two of us. And his face is covered. Can't see his face. If he walks down here during this recording session, his face will be blurred to shit. In previous time, I've used him in work that I've done. Looking back, I don't know quite if I would have done it the same way if I had a better understanding of the boundaries between my personal and professional life and how I create art and how my personal life is embedded within my professional delivery of creative services. And as time went on, I learned like a bit better of how to do that, how to use him discreetly, show him doing something. Oh, I need a kid running down a hallway. So, all right, run away from the camera. He's in it, but he's not. But I've had work that was for clients that, I mean, I did a project with an organization where I spent like 6 months hanging out at their center. Their space had a place for kids to play. He played. I filmed it. Some of it made the final cut. Did I have to put him in? No. Did it feel good to put him in? Of course. Is he like, ooh, this is this guy's kid? No. Did I speak to him about whether he wanted to be in it or not? Of course. So, yeah, I just think about it a lot. I just think about how much we do or don't listen to children, how much we should listen to children, about what things we should listen to children about, when we as the adult should have the say, and when we should shut the fuck up and listen to what our children have to say. How we involve them in the things that we do, the boundaries and the lines and the safety and what all that looks like. I think that's really, really important. I listened to Queen's Flip. on Joe Budden's podcast, talk about his son JR and how JR is essentially, from my understanding, his camera guy. He follows him around. He films all the things that his dad is doing. And there's always this thought of like, because I'm in this thing and because my child has access to it, how much do I suggest or encourage him to be involved in? And yeah, that part's weird because it's here and he has access to it. He's got a container, like 2 containers of just like assorted things that I've accumulated over time that he just goes in and plays with, and he has a blast, lights and little tripods and all kind of stuff. So it's there for him. He has the ability to engage with it if he wants to. But I'm not really like pushing it on him. I don't like the last sport I want him to play is basketball. And I have every reason to encourage that. But I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, his first sport he played was tennis. For that reason. So, yeah, I think about his involvement in this work and how, as he grows, it's a part of his life. And as I start this show and understand, like, one, there's a connection that I'm going to have with people because I'm a parent. There's parts of this that I'm going to talk about and share because I'm a business owner with a 4-year-old, and there's work and adjustments and change that comes with that. But I also have to be very mindful about how I bring him along this journey and how I expose him to y'all. And if there's anything that I want to like kind of even like have brought away from this conversation, is just like thinking about that a little bit more. Just generally as people, like how we're exposing, like, and I get it, like kids and choice and giving kids too much choice, and there's so many different conversations, identity, and like, when do you teach this? And okay, so I get it. But I also think like we do a lot of damage to our children that we don't even realize in these moments by putting them out to strange people. Like, we don't know that. We kind of see the effects of it, but I can see how this little boy changes his energy when he sees that I got the camera on him, just like recording him doing something cute with my phone. Like, you see how the shift of performativism, whether they lean into it or they shy away from it, like you can, and how that manifests forever from now, Lord willing. So yeah, I hope to share him in this experience. I do that with his consent and with his permission. But there's also a line. So like I said, like, he could walk in here right now. Y'all will never see his face. I'll just blur that whole shit out, put cool little X's on it or something. Because he is not for y'all. He is for himself. He's a child. He's part of my story. Him being born shifted everything about who I was. It made me rethink the work I was doing. It made me rethink how I was going about doing the work I was doing. It made me focus on myself. It made me care about Black people, which made me care. George Floyd was murdered in and around my son being born. And that uplift of Black support and caring for people propelled my work but it shifted me as a black man with a black child, with a black son, and how I show up for black men and black boys, which then essentially turned into how I show up for myself. And instead of it being, oh, I want my work to be dedicated to helping black people, it's like, no, I want my life to be dedicated to helping myself and my child and my family and the black people that are this close to me. That's why fatherhood and storytelling and content and work and professionalism, that's how it all comes together. It'd be hard for me to separate the fact that I care about and I'm here with my voice to be heard. I can't change that, the timing in which life happened, when I became a father, the fact that my biological and my stepfather both passed 6 months before and after my son was born. 2 black men I had zero relationship with. Like that, all in, and then less than a year later, George Floyd is laying on the ground, calling for his mama. Like the need for us to show up as parents. Like, bruh, don't even get me down that path. But that shifted my whole soul, which made my work have to be different because me as a person was now different. And if we're being honest, that was probably the shift. If we can go all the way back to like, all right, when did things change? It was, oh, I'm a black person with a powerful voice, and I'm seeing how black people's voices, I've always seen how black people's voices can reach the masses and be impactful, but seeing that at a grand scale and then knowing that what I'm doing matters more now because there's a small human looking at me for how do I live life. Can't separate those two. So yeah, I will share my child with you in the stories that I tell about him and myself and the change and the growth that exists because of him. But he won't be plastered all over the fucking screen, and you won't be able to Google him because that's not the point. So, shout out to all my parents out there. Shout out to all my creatives out there and my speakers and those who have children and think about how the work that they do impacts how their children's lives will be lived. Yeah, there's a mindfulness and a care, sensitivity, because I see it. I see people who use their kid as a prop for money, joy, validation, support. And for those that get down like that, I'm happy for you. But it's just an example of, in a lot of ways, oh, I have learned more in life from seeing what not to do than ever seeing the best example of what to do. So I take a lot of notes and go from there. Keep your kids off the internet. Keep your children's faces off of social media for their own sake. I mean, if they want to be and they get into it, then cool. But did you have like the real important conversation about what it means to have your face accessed by anybody on the planet? And if you did, cool. I know what I'm doing. But just like the food situation, what I eat, I know what it is. He didn't ask to have none of this bullshit put in his body. He don't know what it is, where it came from, what's going on. He didn't buy it. He didn't cook it, nothing. He just here showing up. We got to be mindful of what we're doing and exposing to those who are just here showing up without a say. And that's my dad rant for the day. I'm going to close my computer now because I'm done talking about social media logins and organizing all my login information, being professional. And I'm going to go upstairs now and hang out with my kid because he's probably building something awesome. And I'm going to help him because I never had Legos like really as a child. So now he's got more Legos than he needs. And he needs a building partner. I'm Terrence Taylor. This is day 9. Ooh, double digits tomorrow. I'm down with that. Let's go. Bye.
My daddy makes out. And his name is Terrence Taylor. And I took those pictures.